All right. I am Cooper Yeager, and this is the second episode of I Don't Care.
It's showtime, everybody! Showtime!
Who cares
Oh
about
my
this
God,
stupid
who
election?
I don't care.
I never explained in the last episode what the title means. I called it I Don't Care because it's kind of ironic. It's kind of things that, like, this show is talking about things that people don't normally care about, the I don't care part, but it's ironic because we are talking about it and we should care about it. So we're talking about stuff that people don't normally care about, but we do care about it. So
Nice.
I don't know.
Good.
Sitting here today with Reid Katzovitz and David Valona. And I think Reid wanted to start. Elected to start.
No, after you, man.
So what's going on, Reid?
Not much is going on. I've been looking at math problems recently that I've been working on. Even though people aren't going to be able to see it through a podcast, I'll try my best to explain kind of like what I'm looking at. Mm-hmm. And also, I'm going to preface this by saying that whatever my contribution is to this problem will most likely not have relevance because the people who worked on this problem are like a bazillion times smarter than I am.
Yeah.
So, whatever. But I'm working on this math problem, and it's called Collat's conjecture. And essentially, you take any number, and if it's odd, you multiply it by 3 and add 1, and if it's even, you divide it by 2. Mm-hmm. And every number that you put into that pattern so far, to like 2 to the 60, like to just an insane number, right, has been calculated to come up with this pattern at the end, 421, 421, 421. But the issue with it is that there's no reason for all the other charts are completely unrelated. There's nothing related between them. So I've been spending the past few weeks just kind of figuring out different ways to redraw these, whether or not it be through adjusting the axes or doing different stuff. And I don't know, I'm trying to find different relationships in this problem, and something about it has been incredibly interesting.
It's been bugging you?
Yeah, but it's been like, I think it's led, at least in my mind, it's led for me to a lot of, like, it's a different way of thinking about math. It requires you to not think about arithmetic, about 1 + 1 + 2. It's thinking about orders and thinking about how the difference in where something starts really makes a difference for everything. And I don't know, it's a really just like, it's a really cool problem.
Do you need arithmetic to be able to do that?
This problem is colloquially known as being the only unanswered mathematical question that can be worked on by a third grader or below. It requires...
That sounds right up my alley.
Right up your alley, right? It's like, this is like the basicest of math, and it's befuddled every single person in math forever. I can't remember which mathematician said it, but one mathematician who worked on like something that's insane basically said that this problem was way beyond where math was, and he doesn't ever think it'll ever get that point.
And do you want to tackle it?
I mean...
You're trying. Okay.
I'm trying, but...
You guys can't see this, but I'll probably attach a photo or something.
He's
got got this notebook that's definitely a little...
wonky.
It makes him look a little like not a crazy person, but
a crazy person.
A definitely mad scientist, if not, crazy smart guy. But I remember like last year, like you're always like figuring out these math problems, and like you were telling me about all these problems that, if someone solves it, the government would pay you like millions of dollars.
Yeah.
Like,
what can the government do with this?
Not with this. This is more pure mathematics. This is kind of just for the love of math. Last year, I did a problem that was showing, or at least I was hypothesizing that for polar coordinates, the same point after 360 degrees is actually raised in discrete. This is going to be, But essentially, I was showing that circles could be spirals, and that if you look down the barrel of a slinky or a spiral, it looks like a circle. And then what's the reason to say that if we're looking at a circle and bird's eye view, it's not a spiral. It's just our perception of it that's changing. So that's kind of like.
I remember that you said that in Mr. Walker's class.
Yeah, that's what I was working on.
She was pretty impressed by that.
But I think that the reason why I love this problem specifically and why it's really like there's not really much you can do with it, but there's a lot you can do, is because not to toot my own horn, but like I love finding patterns and I love like that's my thing. I like finding connections, and the biggest problem with this question is that there is no understandable connection between them. So I feel like if there's something that I'm good at and it's finding those links, I may as well try crack it, finding something. And even though it's not really good, even though like I haven't really made most progress, I never really looked at a book to start off the problem. So any discoveries that I have made that relate to real discoveries are my own. So it's kind of like I'm really like doing the problem from start to finish, trying at least.
That's sick.
Yeah, but it's fun.
Reid doing crazy stuff.
Aside from that, I've been listening to a lot of music recently.
Yeah?
A few good albums have come out. And if I'm just going to recommend some stuff for people to listen to Sunday Outtakes, which is a jazz album, but it's by this. It's going to make you laugh if I say the name, so I'm going to spare you it. So nobody has any, like
Sunday Outtakes.
Yeah, but it was created. It has no words in it, but it's created by a rap production artist and a jazz musician, and it just kind of is really good. And then
Want to play a little sample?
Why not? We'll throw something in there. That's good.
Is this like new form jazz?
I just think it's been pretty cool music. I think it's pretty interesting.
You know who Donnie McCaslin is?
No,
He's got an album called Casting for Gravity. It's kind of, I only heard like 5 seconds of that, but it's his new form, kind of
new
cool jazz.
That's cool.
And if I was going to recommend anything else, the new A Tribe Called Quest album is absolutely phenomenal. It's a rap album. It reminds me of more new age rappers who like to go into more experimental rap.
Yeah.
Except this was a 90s group, so it feels as if
broke up and now they're back together.
And it feels as if it's as if in the 90s a group was able to get as experimental as it feels like I'm not only going back in time, but I'm also seeing the furthest end of the spectrum.
They talk about a lot of relevant stuff.
And it's a phenomenal album. And then the other album, it's called We Got It From Here, Thank You For Your Service. And the last album I'd probably say is just a classic, and I've just been listening to it recently, Axis Bold as Love by Jimi Hendrix.
Oh, yeah.
It is actually the Jimi Hendrix Experience, if I may correct myself.
Yeah.
And it reminds me of Marvin Gaye and the Beatles and all these other bands, but it's Jimi Hendrix throughout the entire thing, and it's one of the most.
It's a great album.
He recorded that album in a week. Yeah.
Well, yeah. Well,
that's Hendrix.
Yep.
I mean, I don't know if it was drugs or I don't know, whatever it was, but
it was drugs.
Probably drugs.
It was drugs.
Yeah.
It's a masterpiece, is what it is.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Sweet. Nice recommendations.
Thank you. You're
welcome. I'll put a link to those in the description. All right, let's move on to David of Alona. What's going on with you, man?
All right, so I've been really interested and amused by, especially the 12th grade, our slang, our language
Wallahi.
that we've developed. Wallahi. And one thing, I had this idea in freshman year to keep a notebook of all the slang that we were using, and I haven't followed through with it, and that's one of my biggest regrets of high school. So if you're a freshman and you guys are developing your own slang, I would definitely write that down. I think that would be so cool to see how your language with your friend group progresses over 4 years.
I will say it's pretty interesting that words that I thought our grade made up, I hear in lower grades and stuff. And it's interesting.
It really,
and
it's spreading.
I wonder if it's that they're learning from us or if it's their own natural
I think they're learning from us, and then they're putting their own spins on it.
Yeah.
And so I think it's cool to study, but I also think it's just objectively hilarious that I can be talking to one of my friends who graduated last year, and he says like, "Oh my God, you guys don't even speak English anymore. I have no idea what you're saying." So I've kind of taken that interest with our slang, and I'm trying to put it into this script, or there's just this idea that I'm thinking about of just all these high school stereotypes, and trying to fit that slang in. So more immediately it would be a one act, hopefully, in the spring.
Nice.
And I don't want to give away too much.
I was just
of
wondering
it.
about like the format of
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So it would be a one act play in the spring, and I want my friends to play themselves and just exaggerated versions of themselves, and hopefully
this is like just
and hopefully
like this is the end, kind of like that.
Yeah, that vibe, and hopefully be able to sneak in some of our lingo.
Right.
Yeah.
And then more long term with that idea, having, I don't know if I want it to be a short series, but I want to film it. I have I could do it with Cooper. I could do it with Daniel Acklog, or I know a guy who lives in Toronto who has his own video production company, and he says that he'd love to, if I send him a script, he'd love to work on that. So I think that would be pretty fun.
Mm-hmm.
Just generally kind of getting my leg into writing scripts and getting into that comedy world would be super cool. Whether it's stand up or
it's interesting because it's very personal yet relatable, because like obviously the words that we say, it's like only our school, but then I think every school has their own little lingo, and like, because I talk to my friends from outside of school, and I say like, "Oh, Wallahi," and they're like, "What?" It's just like you have to catch yourself, because, and then even like with my friends, I have different things, and if I say it here, people are like, "What?" So I think it's kind of cool if you like find a way, like, I don't know what other worlds you have like that, but like kind of like connecting worlds, and I don't know.
Yeah, and I think if it were to become a series that I would film and put it on YouTube or wherever, the goal would be to do it successfully to the point that the audience who don't go to Ride Country Day would be able to pick up the language a little bit.
Do you ever see on Snapchat, Comedy Central, like they on their thing, they have this thing called Swagasaurus.
I haven't seen that.
It's like a little skit that they do, and they do it's basically like Urban Dictionary. They just pick a word,
right?
Like they've done like fam and stuff, and then they just like exaggerate it out to like what the point is.
Yeah.
Or like woke or something like that. And I think like that's kind of like interesting, like if it's like almost like a spoof on like a dictionary.com, like what does this word mean?
Right.
Do you have a definition for Wallahi, by the way? Because I think some people may not.
It's
an Egyptian Arabic. Well,
it's an Arabic way
it's an
of
Egyptian
saying,
Arabic word, and I think it means "I swear to Allah." So it's a Muslim word. But we've used it
in context. It has so many different meanings in my mind.
Well, it really just, it's a way for me. I just feel ridiculous talking about it. I take it. I don't want to say seriously, but seriously to the point where if I say it, that means I'm telling the truth.
Right. It's like you swear on your mother's grave or something like that. Yeah.
So your friends can know if you're telling the truth. And it's also a way to exaggerate something.
Yeah.
Funny. But also other people just say it because it's a fun little spice to their
and it's kind of nice, like having that own little word.
Yeah.
Like that not everyone would know.
And I also think it's just so funny that, I mean, it came from Shems.
Right.
And just how quickly it spread.
Yeah.
It's everyone in our grade says it. A lot of people in other grades say it. It's just fun. It's very, I mean, it is a word, but it's pretty, the way we use it is unique to us.
Yeah.
But that's, but the moral of the story, I guess, would be if you're in the younger grades, or if you're not, just I would write down the slang you guys are using, because I'm starting to do it now, and it's so fun. Even it changes by the week, and it's pretty cool to look back. So if you're a freshman, I guess that time passed. I was gonna say write it in your letters to your future selves for senior year.
Right.
But yeah.
Forgot about those letters.
Yeah, we're gonna get them. I think December. But yeah. So that's my writing and my thinking on that. And then also, what?
There is Brazilian money. I put Brazilian money, and I think I put it in both
I
of
have
ours.
reals, I think,
Yes.
in
Nice.
my letter. And
Yeah.
oh my god, I think I have like
I've got some weird
I
stuff.
got like $30 in there. I think
No.
I said when I last
All right.
time.
So you definitely owe me at least $30. So I'll be
It's
taking
going
that.
straight to Dave's
yeah.
pocket.
Yeah. And then I'm also I'm trying to. I've been in choir forever, basically, and I'm working on my singing. And I wanted to take music theory this year, but I didn't have time in my schedule. So I'm trying to make up for that by teaching myself guitar and stuff like that.
Cool.
Because I'd like to get into like writing my own music, and I mean I love to sing. If you see me in the halls, I'm singing for.
I mean,
most
I
of the
definitely think
days.
like we have to. I feel like everyone's very talented in our grade and throughout the whole high school. Like we need, and teachers too. Like we should do like a giant mixtape. Like we were talking about it. Like not a mixtape,
do
but
that.
like
That's
you know, an
not a bad idea.
original like our. I think who was it? Last year,
Townley?
David Townley.
We
Yeah,
did one
tried to
in-
do a song.
Well, we did a mixtape
Right.
in Cuba
Right.
on the choir trip. It was called Havana After Hours,
Yeah.
and we had some people rap and beatbox.
Because I think
stuff
that'd be
like
so
that.
cool. Because
Yeah.
I mean, we were talking Shems and Jarvie. We're talking about it on the last podcast.
Yeah.
About like joining together, and Shems wants to start like recording his own voice.
Yeah.
I think it'd
Shem's and I
be
were talking
cool,
about
just
doing
like, yeah,
a duet or something like that.
Yeah, that'd be
Shams
awesome.
has such a good voice, it's insane.
It is.
Yeah.
It is insane.
No, he's great.
I'd love to like as like a little intermission, like on the next podcast or something, like record something of you guys.
Of
Be
us
like-
singing.
Yeah, no, like
I would. Yeah.
like write a song and
Yeah.
I'll record it and be like, hey, catching up on David and Shems, here's your song.
All right. Yeah, we could.
You know?
Start with a cover and then hopefully
Yeah.
work up to our own stuff. But yeah.
I mean, it doesn't even have to like just start writing. You know, I think that's like
Yeah.
the biggest thing.
Yeah, a lot of it, it's just hard to. Some people just have that.
Yeah,
I mean, if you think of like the greats, I mean, Jimi Hendrix. We were talking about him earlier. Just like
sure.
picked up a guitar and just taught himself
Right.
and was basically a musical genius. It's hard. It's hard to do that. At least for me,
Yeah,
without a lot of the
for sure.
like academic
I was
background of music theory. But I
was
definitely
gonna
want to
say
get into that.
in the realm of Jimi Hendrix and people like that, I actually think that when they haven't had any experience or haven't had any formal teaching, he taught himself the
Did it get
instrument.
better?
Well, not better, but the fact that he's taught himself the instrument, I
Oh,
think
yeah.
he has a more intimate relationship with the instrument, and
Mhm.
he understands
Right.
his system of playing is his own. It's not somebody else's.
Well, he
and
played
it
what did
fits
he play?
Left-hand
lefty
guitar
upside down.
A lefty guitar upside
And
down.
It's essentially his own system. Other people wouldn't be able to play like he did, but his own system worked best for him, and
Right.
thus I think that was the way to maximize his potential.
Right,
Whereas
but
if
he's
he had
also-
been confined to,
He's also one in a.
he's also
quadrillion.
exactly. But I'm
I
saying
mean-
that I think had he been confined to the rules of music and those
Right,
stricter
right.
rules of how to play,
Right.
it would have completely changed the way that he is.
Right, he wouldn't have been the way that
Yeah,
he was.
yeah.
Right, yeah.
I think music is definitely a part of our lives. And as Reid was saying, check out those albums that he posted, and yeah,
If I can just throw in one other tip,
Yeah.
also listen to music that you don't listen to genres every so often that you just absolutely do not listen to at all,
yeah,
because it's really nice to just reset and have something fresh in your mind that's you can't predict, and it
yeah. I
clears
think
you
that's
up.
so great.
Yeah,
You know, just doing homework, like if you have like mindless work, just put on some jazz or blues, something that you would like laugh to if you just like
You laughed
heard
at the
it.
blues?
No, I mean like no, if we're sitting in morning meeting and they just start playing like blues, you would be like "Pfft," like that's kind of random because it's
Right.
not like pop, you know.
Oh,
but
yeah.
if you
Well,
like
I'd
just
also
play something, you
Start
know.
crying, but.
Oh no, of course. I mean, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But
I know
like,
what you
just
mean.
play something, that you don't know, and
Yeah, for sure.
and hopefully we'll get you guys recorded.
Yeah, absolutely.
I would love to record you and
Yeah. Yeah.
edit your work
we'll
and
get
mix
Shems,
it, and
and we'll get that going.
yeah. All right, I want to thank you guys for
Yeah.
being part of the
Thanks for-
second episode.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's fun.
I'm surprised Reid and I were not at each other's throats for
Not political at all. Right
no
now.
politics.
No politics. And that's what
That'll be next time.
It's. But this is a relaxing time. Yeah,
shows
we're
that
not
through
here to argue,
Through interest, political divisions mean nothing.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
A
right,
shush from
let's-
Reid.
Let's stop now.
Yeah.
Is that,
And on that,
is that enough?
and on that, I think we'll end it here.
All right. Stay classy.
All right.